welcome back to Connections Corner. I'm Holly, and this is the podcast that is about finding your connections, your people, and your vibes here at the University of Gloucestershire. We take you to life beyond lectures and just give you a little insight as to what it's like to be a student here. And today I'm joined, as always, we're joined by incredible guests, but I've actually got a guest co-host this week as well.
Yeah.
Because poor Ivana isn't feeling very well, so we are sending her much love and healing thoughts. But this is Cameron.
Hello.
And then, as always, we're joined by incredible guests. So, welcome.
Thank you very much.
And if you'd like to start by sort of introducing yourself and like what you study or what you teach.
Hello, my name is George. I am a level 6 student here at the uni doing computer science. Very fun. All about computers.
Also, I'm Jordan, or Dr. Jordan Allison, and I'm a senior lecturer in computer science.
Amazing. That's such an important role in our uni, and like making sure that students feel facilitated and included in everything. I think we've got some questions to sort of find out a little bit more about you and why you picked UoG first.
I suppose to start off, what made you pick UoG, and what was sort of the decider of you coming here to start with?
So I think it's not just sort of like the university, the teaching, it's the lectures. It's all around the lectures, which I think is more important than the lectures themselves. So it's the environment. So you can just walk across the park, feed the ducks. Yeah, it's a whole environment. So you've got the lecturers who are really, really friendly. We know them on a one-to-one basis, names and everything. But connections, and you get the more personalised support than at a bigger uni. So I almost went to one of the Russell Group unis. I could have got in. But I decided sort of like, is this right for me? Do I really fit in there? And I didn't think I would. So I came here because I knew I'd be more comfortable, more at home. It's a big family here, I think Son said, and I definitely agree with that.
Yeah.
It's those connections, that's what matters most, I think, for me personally.
Yeah, it's about finding the right place for you. I know when I went to uni that I nearly went to a Russell group, and then I actually went for a week, and then I decided that it wasn't for me, it was too much. I changed my mind, and I'm really glad that I did change my mind.
Oh yeah, definitely, same here. I love it here. It's really good. Yeah.
Amazing. And in terms of like teaching, obviously that's a very different decision to make by choosing a university to teach at. What sort of came into your, why here?
So I think it's probably worth mentioning, when I came to an open day here as a student, I had actually got into a Russell group. And then it was only because my dad at the time said, oh wait, why don't we just go, because you have this as an extra choice. And I came here as a student.
Yeah.
So back in 2012, I actually studied here as a student anyway. So I did my undergrad here.
What was your undergrad in?
Not computing. It was business and economics.
Okay.
But also based here at Park.
Yeah.
So certainly a very, very different field. But then after that, I also did my MBA, had a role working in the university marketing team, and then in 2019, in my role in outreach and working a bit with the department, opportunity came up to move into the academic side of things. And then naturally kind of came across.
Amazing. And I assume you enjoy it now, otherwise.
No, it's brilliant. And it's weird. Next month will actually be, all told, 10 years now.
Oh wow.
I've been at the uni in different...
Round of applause for that.
Big landmark. 10
It is
years.
a big
landmark. Yeah.
Part of the furniture now.
That's so interesting, because I actually think a lot of people who work here have been to uni here. I'm actually the only one sat at this table who hasn't.
Yeah, I came to uni here as well. So.
And what course did you do again?
Like digital media, so like media production, effectively. So, but yeah,
in the right job then.
Exactly. Yeah, it came back around very circular, I suppose.
Yeah. So the next thing is we sort of want to know why, like, how did you choose, like, why did you choose computer science to study it or teach it?
So I think computing has always been an interest of mine since I was very young. So like in primary school, I'd be the one to sort of plug all the laptops in at the end of a lesson and like do the slides on the hymns or whatever. So it's always been of an interest, sort of like how do things work. But when I was in A-level, I didn't really know what route I wanted to go down still. I was still umming and ahhing, do I like cybersecurity? Do I like computing? Do I like engineering? That's another one I quite liked. And I just wasn't sure. So I thought, I saw the website and it sort of like said all the different modules, you do all sorts of different stuff. So I thought, just try it, just go for it. And it's like a bit of networking, a bit of IoT, a bit of cloud. It's the broad spectrum. That's what I really liked, and that's what made me choose. And now I'm down this sort of rabbit hole of DevOps at the moment. Sort of like how you've got your program, but how do you actually run that program? And sort of like what's the route to get your code to the actual server? That's my real interest at the moment, and I can go on about Kubernetes all day because that's what I was doing all day yesterday. So yeah, that's giving me a headache at the moment, but I really enjoy it as well. It's finding your passion, I think.
Definitely.
That's what I need to do, because like computing is quite broad.
Yeah, you have so
There's
many
much
options.
to it, yeah. So I needed a bit of help narrowing that down with a bit of exposure to everything, I think.
Yeah, definitely. You can't get enough experience when you first start, in my opinion, and then you can always choose to go in a different direction.
Absolutely, yeah. And in the future, if I get bored of DevOps, because I've got that foundation knowledge, I can always pivot to do something else as well.
Definitely.
So a lot of people do squiggly careers, I've heard that on LinkedIn recently.
And how about yourself?
In terms
of teaching it.
So in terms of teaching, over time I've taught quite a few different areas. So I've taught a bit of networking, data analytics, security management, dissertation and research methods. So I've taught a bit of a broad range. I think for me, because I didn't initially come from a computing background, I didn't do computing at university, but I was certainly always a very technical guy. So doing maths, further maths at kind of A level, that kind of problem solving, that kind of way of thinking was always what I liked overall. So I think actually even when I initially moved across, as it is so broad and teaching a range of modules, again you realise how broad that field is of computer science and cyber, and I think you build those foundations whether at any level, and I think that's the nature of the field. You can't stop learning because it's constantly changing all the time. It's actually, do you have that passion for knowledge and to learn? And I think if you have that, you can keep going in this field.
Yeah, it's so exciting to think that things are like constantly changing. There's always something new to learn, and not really like, I suppose, getting to the bottom of it. That must make every day a little bit different, I suppose.
Oh yeah, you're always learning stuff and always giving yourself a headache.
Maybe a few less headaches.
Maybe, yeah.
Some water.
Need some oranges and tea. That usually helps.
Oh, that's funny. So in terms of that, do you guys have any like favourite modules?
Difficult question. There's so many. I think mostly programming, anything programming I quite like. I like having an output, something that I can sort of put on my CV or put on GitHub, and when I'm doing interviews I can just say, hey, look at that cool thing I did. So you've got a product. I think IoT has to be up there. That's because
define that for somebody who
so
might
that
not
is
know.
Arduinos and little plugs that you put in.
Define that as well.
Oh, okay.
What's an Arduino?
So it's a little computer, a little circuit board, but you can plug things in, little wires, you can plug LEDs in, get screens, get an output, get a real physical, real world interaction with a computer rather than just a number on a screen. So it's so much more engaging. And I went quite mad with soldering irons and just getting it all physical done. And if you looked at it, it was just a mess of wires, but it actually worked. And it was really fulfilling to see how it got from just a little circuit board to just this massive project. And that process it's not so much about the end product, it's the process and how you learn and how you get to that end product, so I know what to do, what I did last time. So if I do the same sort of thing, I can do it again, and I can make so much more. It's transferable, I'd say.
I think on that, it's about the joy of finding the solution, isn't it?
It is,
I think
yeah.
in computing, so many things don't work all the time. And I think it's like you keep trying, learn something new, try that, and then you get that output, and there's such a kind of like success,
There
isn't
is,
there?
yeah, definitely.
Like, what sort of opportunities or facilities do students have access to when they come to UoG? Like, for example, we're sat in Future Park right now, so I suppose things like that. What sort of opportunities do they have?
Do you want to say what you got involved in first, George?
Well, we do lots of hackathons here at the uni.
Amazing.
So
Ethically hacking.
So we've got external businesses coming in, and like BAE Systems a few months back. It was really fun. Never done it. No, not really into my hacking and cyber. I've learned that now through experience. But it's fun just to play around with, and they come in and potentially snatch a few people for placements and grad schemes, don't they?
But what a way to
it's
something so fun to then also be leading to your future at the same
exactly,
time.
yeah. It's like, again, it's just experience. That's what you need in computer science. It's not so much like writing or exams and a little number at the end you mark. It's a practical experience. That's what counts in this field. Would you agree with that?
Yeah,
and that ability to sort of say, I know how to do it.
Yeah, and I think the thing is what the benefit we have with the labs, as you say, where we've got the secure labs separate from the university network, it really allows us to do these kind of simulations, these different kind of activities that students can get involved in. And to be honest, I think a lot of people think computing is just these technical kind of simulation. I mean, if we go back to one of the previous questions in terms of favourite modules, one of my favourite modules to teach is not a technical module at all. So it's information security management. And I'm not teaching, well, there is the teaching of the knowledge of like industry standards and those kind of things. But the skill I'm trying to really get across is making effective decisions.
Yeah.
Because security is always a balancing act between like an organisation's reputation, how it impacts people, budgets and finance. So that kind of simulation as well is a kind of whole different skill set that a lot of students initially don't really realise is important in this field, because fundamentally computing systems, they work in business and with people.
Yeah.
So it's a full package really.
Yeah, combining those two things, I think, is gonna, better help you when you then go out and get your job, essentially.
Absolutely.
One of my favourite rooms in this building is the control centre.
Yeah,
I love teaching in that room.
Yeah,
It.
and I think that obviously all of those things and all of the diverse facilities are obviously preparing you for different scenarios. So that cyber control room is it's obviously really reflective of a real life room where there's like people in there all trying to work together to make sort of the same decisions and get to a certain point, and like being in close proximity and just replicating that environment, whereas like obviously you all need the computer labs to then do your different hackathons, and Future Park here is just such a generally nice like study space as well that you need to then complete your own modules. It's just great to have it, I think, and especially being in Cheltenham as the sort of cyber capital of the UK. And obviously, in addition to that, many of our viewers and listeners are probably thinking about AI and how they can use it themselves, and also probably thinking about how it will affect their careers, especially if they're going into something like computer or cyber. So could you maybe tell us a little bit about how we're responding to that at UoG in terms of like how it forms part of the curriculum?
Yeah, sure. So I think first things first, AI has been part of our curriculum for years.
Yeah.
Anyway, so fundamentally, if we initially start, there's AI. Before that, we've got kind of machine learning underpinning that, maths and statistics. So it's this whole level of kind of abstraction now initially. So AI, I think what most people are thinking about now is the ChatGPTs and the large language models that we can ask a question, it will give us an answer.
Yeah.
So in terms of what we're doing in terms of curriculum, we're going through a whole process as we do pretty much every year. We're looking at what modules we teach in, what's fit for purpose, how does that connect with what's going on in industry, and AI is used in industry. It's used by a lot of people. I think a lot of the skills that we're now going to look to try and develop is more about that critique of AI and how it is actually fit for purpose on a bigger scale. So I think just because you can ask AI to produce some code, it will produce some code for you, fine. However, from an organisational perspective, it's really important to consider how does that perhaps integrate with other systems? How does it scale? How does it link to security? And I think that's what we're trying to really focus on here at the University of Gloucestershire, in terms of just because you can use AI to get an output doesn't mean that output is fit for purpose. So it's really thinking about the how and the why any output is valid in the first place. So, and we're looking to now do that straight from level 4.
Yeah.
And I have a whole kind of stream through level 4s, 5, 6.
Yeah.
So students come in with this better understanding of how to interact with AI.
Yeah, definitely, because obviously it's so much bigger than a lot of like an everyday user would think it is. And like the things that go into it to like actually get you that answer, I think is possibly a thing that is not understood or people are aware of necessarily.
No.
They just think, I'll ask it a question.
And
It'll
it's
give me an
also,
answer.
and it's also how you ask that question.
Yeah.
So the kind of growing skill is prompt engineering,
Yeah.
which is how you ask AI certain questions to get the answers you need. And there's so many different like kind of theories already in terms of how you ask those questions and how you instruct the AI.
Yeah.
And I think it's, if you don't know how to do that, you're going to end up with results with some different biases and not really understanding what's built in from an ethics standpoint in terms of those systems as well. So it's really setting the foundations at level 4, so students understand that actually, yes, this is a tool. It's a tool that you can use, and industry does use, but you need to know how to use it responsibly and actually make sure it is fit for purpose for your needs.
Yeah. And then George, I suppose it's more about how like you are using AI, whether that's in your studies or outside of your studies.
So it's really, really useful for university work. But again, I'll echo, it's how you use it which is most important. So I just put in, write my dissertation for me. That's not going to work and you're going to get quite angry with me.
And I'll know straight away.
That's the thing, is that you can tell.
Yeah.
And
You can,
people
yeah.
need to not
Yeah,
rely
people
on
think
it.
they'll just get away with it, but it's just not.
Yeah,
You just know, don't you?
And
Yeah.
sorry to interject, but that entire point is kind of missing the point of what education is in the first place.
Yeah.
It's about
Absolutely.
actually knowing what you're doing and why. Because if you just keep asking it for a solution,
Yeah.
when you're actually in a role and someone's asking you that question, it could be in a kind of one-to-one meeting or in
Yeah.
front of a
Yeah.
board of directors.
Yeah, you're not gonna have a clue, are you?
You're not going to have a
No.
clue
No.
now.
Or an interview.
Or in it,
Yeah.
or indeed
Because
an
then
interview.
otherwise you won't be able to get the job in the first place.
yeah. It's a fundamental knowledge, which again, what university is really useful for, I think. Knowing when the AI is right or wrong, knowing what it can do as well. Because if you just shove in, make me a website, it's not going to do it. But if you say, make me the nav bar for this website in React using my previous colour schemes from these other ones, it will do it, and it will do it quite well. It's all about what you ask with prompt engineering, I guess. And what are the capabilities, how far can it go? And once you sort of like got that down, then it's so much easier to use. And then you can actually be productive and know, because I can fact check as well, because I know what it should look like. I'm just cheating and just getting it to do the boring work for me.
Yeah, I think what's changed now, and in terms of how we move with education moving forward, is there's a much greater emphasis on those kind of fundamental principles as well. So it's not just about knowing how to code, and if I put it in this order, this will give this output. You need to know the principles regardless of the language that you're being used, and how that, as you say, will link to specific use cases, whether it's a website, some software, an app. You need to know those principles to use it effectively.
Yeah, and it's exactly what you said. You're using it, okay, to help you get to where you want to,
Exactly,
but you
yeah.
know what's right, so you have to.
Yeah.
You're using it to almost check yourself, in a sense.
Yeah, I know exactly what I want it to do. I just don't want to do it, sort of thing. Like if I want to put some dummy data in a database, I'll say, here's my database structure, make some dummy data, and it'll just like do some general books and whatever for one of my assignments, and it just saves so much time, and it makes
Yeah.
the project so much more real as well.
What I was about to say is using it to like improve efficiency, right? And just like save
That's-
time.
that's where it comes in, yeah.
That's like, that's what it's for.
Exactly.
So I think we've already touched on this slightly, but about how to use AI safely and ethically. How do you think that we are incorporating that as part of the teaching, in a sense? Is there any like specific situations that, you've said that you do like the hackathon and things like that? How do you enforce being ethical in it?
So I think it does depend on the use case in terms of what you're doing
Yeah.
overall. But I think regardless of what AI you're using, you need to be aware of certainly what data you're putting into that in the
Yeah.
first place. Are you asking a question? Are you taking someone's data? You don't know where that's going, and you haven't got necessarily permission to do that. So you need to be really aware of what you're putting in to any kind of large language model, whether you have permission for that. So I think it's those initial kind of principles in the first place about what you're doing. Now, for me, I mean, I've written about this as well, but in terms of AI in education, I've got quite a passion for like education technologies and those kind of things.
Yeah.
And I think the big gap now is, as is generally in the world, it's AI powered, or everything is AI enabled or powered or enhanced.
Yeah.
But it's trying to first define what do you mean by that
Those terms. Yeah.
in the first place. And I think it's only when we get to the more granular detail of what you actually mean in terms of how do we use AI that we can actually essentially put in place as appropriate kind of safeguards and way of working with it.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of it is actually about not just understanding but addressing kind of misunderstandings or misconceptions that people may have, because it's so accessible now. That's kind of the problem.
Yeah.
It's so accessible. It's just I can just create an account online, put something in.
Yeah.
There's no education
No.
there, and I think this is where it's a big shift compared to a lot of previous technologies. So I think initially, if we're talking about, let's say, cloud, right? Cloud's not a new thing for sure, but initially when cloud came, it's like, we're teaching how to do cloud and what cloud is. It's just uploading a file somewhere in the cloud.
Yeah.
Where now, AI is fundamentally shapes knowledge. Because
Yeah.
people are taking answers as that is truth,
That's gospel.
a universal truth,
Yeah.
which is the issue. So it's making sure people are aware.
Yeah.
Really.
Definitely.
Yeah, I suppose on that as well, what would you, for like any student that's wants to come to UoG, I suppose how would you, go about if they're worried about AI? How would you reassure them, sort of going into the future, that, it's maybe not something to be scared of, or like how they can use it correctly?
So
With their career as well, I think.
Yeah,
is
yeah.
I think the career one's really interesting actually, and I was chatting to a student the other day, one of my personal tutees, and they're an apprentice student, so they're working, and they've recently got promoted to kind of more project manager kind of role as a software developer, and they're saying a couple of things about the course. I really wanted to say some really positive feedback. And I was like, amazing, let me know what it is. And they said, in terms of the modules that were actually most applicable for me, it wasn't the technical modules. As a software developer, it's actually how these things work in practice. So AI can speed up certain processes. As George said, if I want a nav bar in this thing, he knows the principles of what he needs, and he can get an output and assess whether that's correct.
Yeah.
But that's not the kind of, from a career perspective, the skill is that knowledge of what you need, how that's fit for purpose. So AI can actually accelerate what you're doing. I don't see it as anything to be scared of. It's certainly something to embrace. You just need to be willing to learn how to use it in different use cases for what you need.
Yeah.
I think from a career perspective, being, should I say, competent and a good user of AI can certainly help you. So
Yeah.
industry professionals are using it all the time, but they know those foundations.
Yeah.
That's the key thing. You still need to know the foundations. And
Yeah.
you can use AI to hopefully help speed yourself up in certain things.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I think on that note, we will take a short break, and then we'll be back to talk a little bit more about your sort of like industry links and connections and sort of placements and things that you've done. Awesome. Okay. Oh, this feels so unnatural because it's always Ivana that does the clap. It's exciting though. That's enough now. So we are back, and obviously we're going to talk a little bit more about sort of being connected to industry now. So as we've sort of like previously touched on a tiny bit, we are really well based here in Cheltenham, because we are positioned really close to things like GCHQ and the Golden Valley development, which essentially makes Cheltenham a real like cyber capital of the UK, and not something that I suppose every uni can say that they have. But obviously, Jordan, can you tell us a little bit more about how being located here and connected with like locals in the industry sort of like helps students with their development and their placements and things?
Yeah, sure. So I think in Cheltenham, what people don't tend to realise is just the scale of lots of different type of companies that are in and around this area. And I think it's not just those kind of the big names, you know, in terms of like GE Aviation, Raytheon, you get these kind of big names, GCHQ you've mentioned. But because of that, there's this whole little kind of cluster of all these kind of smaller companies as well. And lots of kind of small consultancy-based firms as well in and around Cheltenham and Gloucestershire. So in terms of opportunities students can get involved in, it's not just the graduate and placement roles with these kind of small companies, but also big companies. And I think for students, it really does vary what you may want to do. Now, you can go into some of these big companies and they might have really good kind of graduate routes or placement routes and opportunities in that sense. But actually, the scale of all these small companies as well means if you get a placement there, you may be involved in a bit of everything. So in terms of diversity of options, there's a lot.
Yeah.
In terms of how that benefits students as well, is we got loads of connections. Okay, so there's Synam, so that's a kind of UK kind of cluster group of companies that, and we have this kind of all these events that go on. Even last week, we've got the Cheltenham Gloucester branch of the British Computer Society. We have webinars and face-to-face events taking place here on campus as well. And as we mentioned earlier, the kind of hackathons and different companies coming in. So you mentioned BAE, we've had CY2 as well. Come in and really give students a kind of insight in terms of what the actual sectors like to work with. And what's actually brilliant, I think it was when CY2 came in, I think it was the majority of those staff that come in were previous alumni of UoG as well. So it really gives students that kind of perspective of what the progression can be like.
Shows you where you can get to.
Yeah, precisely. And we also in our module, so you're doing this advanced topics.
Oh, I'm not.
You're not doing that
No.
one. Oh, you're missing out. So we have. So we got one of the modules we got in level 6. It's called Advanced Topics and Technology and Innovation, and the entire module is guest lecturers from people in industry.
That's amazing.
To give students those kind of insights in terms of what is going on in the field, because we said technology is so broad, so it really gives students those kind of wider perspectives of what's actually going on. So basically opportunities to get involved in lots of different things, really.
Yeah. Do you feel like you're missing out now?
I don't know. Instead of that lecture, I'm doing some more things. So I'm helping in web dev instead. So that's giving me also practical experience having people. So it's like I've got like there's different things. There's so many opportunities. There's not enough time for them, pretty much.
And I think it's a good point you raised there, George, because I don't think it's necessarily realised as much in other areas. So when we have some of the lectures, let's say in like a room such as this, if it is a module like web development, we get students in some of the higher years, like George for instance, and he'll come and actually help in the class as well. So for our level 4 or 5 students, it gives students that kind of I guess in some respects, almost like you're a mentor to them, aren't you?
Yeah,
In terms of what it's
yeah.
like from studying at the higher years. So
And it sort of like helps the lecturers out as well, because if you've got one person in a big room, then you've got more bodies, you can help more people, and you get even more of that personalised one-to-one support. So you can sort of like say, instead of just saying, oh, this is useful, you can say, this is useful because, and then you can go into more deeper depth rather than having to buzz around everywhere.
Yeah.
You do get more support.
And it might be that sometimes, like, those students might be, not that any lecturer is scary, or they feel more comfortable asking you a question than possibly the lecturer. So it's really nice to have that sort of like option for them to,
Absolutely.
and they can probably relate to you as well. And
Yeah, we get
just-
to know them and sort of like have a joke, and that's very funny.
And you're essentially also connecting with each other, that then when you go out into industry, you're already then mixing and knowing so many more people who you're going to be on the same level with when you reach that career.
Exactly.
yeah, and I think this is the thing. It's about the knowing of people, right? Those connections, as you say. So I think in computer, because it's evolving so fast, there's so much change. You can't be an expert in everything. The lecturers can't be an expert in everything. It's not possible because it is constantly evolving. So
Yeah, especially with computing and
Yeah.
cyber.
So certainly, what I often like in my lectures when students are bringing things to me, and it's like, wow, that's a whole new perspective. So fundamentally, if a student doesn't feel kind of comfortable to ask me questions in class, that's not being the lecturer I want to be. I want someone to
No.
actually feel that they can ask those questions, because ultimately we're here to help them learn, develop. But certainly having students come in and assist in that, it can also bridge that gap, and also gives you different skills as well.
It does, yeah. Communication, technical skills, having to understand code very quickly, which is, yes. Some of
Which
it can
is
be quite
yes.
messy, which is,
Yes. That's how my brain works.
Yeah.
When I think about code,
Yes.
yeah, I'm sure.
yeah.
So George, have you done any placements in your?
I have, yes. It's funny, we've talked about Cheltenham, but it's actually down in Bristol with Lloyd's Banking Group.
Amazing.
So that was more DevOps again, which maybe have sparked my initial passion, which was really, really useful because it gave me both a bit of insight in the technical side, but more sort of like applying these skills I've been learning and practicing here at the uni have allowed me, like standout module, agile methods. It was pretty much just theoretical, but it's about how interactions work with other people, how do you work in a team, and more the theory behind that. And that sort of like helps with applying my technical skills that I know. And I think you're able to contribute a bit more because you've had different experiences as well. So like I was able to set new ideas, new ways of doing things that maybe they haven't thought of before. Because it's a two-way thing. It's not just them giving me experience. It's me being able to contribute and sort of like, do some of the sort of like more boring tasks, but making those boring tasks more interesting. So developing scripts to automate these things. And the end result is the same task gets done, but it's so much more better and more efficient and helps the company. So everyone wins at the end.
And how did you initially sort of get onto the placement? Like, what was the sort of process around that, I suppose?
So it was all, I sort of was umming and ahhing if I wanted to do a placement or not. Because originally I was just on a straight 3-year scheme. But I've heard placements were good from like people coming into the lectures. So we have people coming in, sort of like saying careers advice, help with CV. We've got a really good team to help you with that. But they came in, sort of like said, oh, look at this cool website with loads of placements and grad schemes on. So I had a look and sort of like applied for a few, and Lloyd's got back and said, yeah, which was very, very fun, very, very exciting. And yeah, it was really amazing experience and brought me back, and now I'm applying new ideas to the uni stuff as well and being able to help people with that and like giving careers advice to people, which hopefully is correct and helpful.
It's really interesting that you sort of changed your mind from having that sort of idea of I'm just going to do the 3 years and then, changing your mind to have that experience and then go and do a placement and those people that have influenced you and helped you do that. Because I know I certainly would have like to have done a placement when I was at uni, but unfortunately
same.
it coincided with COVID,
Yeah.
so there wasn't really the opportunity to do that. But I've seen from other people, like my friends and people here, that how much that benefits you.
Yeah, I think it's because I was able. I think one of the main bits was sitting down with one of the careers advisors and then just going through my CV, just saying, this is good, talk about that more, you don't need that in there. It's that personalised support, and here you definitely get it. Like, I can ask Jordan, what do you think of this module? How does it influence my CV? And you can get those connections, you can get that support, which maybe you don't get elsewhere. It really is just the connections, really, I guess.
Yeah, and I suppose, like, Jordan, on that point, like, what can you expand on sort of the other sort of placement opportunities, I suppose, that students have as well? And is there ever any crossover between courses, and sort of, yeah, what's that like?
So as I said, there's lots of different opportunities. So there's, kind of smaller companies that students may get placements with, so like cybersecurity associates, for instance, CY2 you've mentioned. But certainly there are those kind of bigger opportunities as well, which, like Lloyd's, BT, EDF, energy companies. The thing is with computing and cyber, a lot of people initially think that the placements have to be for a tech company, where the reality is, the university's got a whole different IT team. We had some students actually on placement with the university IT team.
Yeah, part of everything,
It's
isn't
part,
it?
it's part of everything. Yeah.
It's a necessity now. It's not an option.
Yeah. So largely, I think one of the things for me is often kind of broadening students' view of what the field could be for them, what they may want to go into, and it's fostering that development of just keep learning, take what experiences you kind of can, because you're going to learn and develop in some way, and you can apply that in so many sectors. You may have a computer role initially, do it in, let's say, a manufacturing company. There's no reason that, a few years later down the line, you think, well, actually, I really got this kind of passion for working in the healthcare sector broadly, but you then may transition there. So, water's your oyster, really.
Having those transferable skills.
It's the
Yeah.
it's the transferable skills, precisely.
Absolutely. And obviously, computing and cyber are obviously separate courses essentially here, but like, do you often see that there's a crossover? Like, do you get to mix with them? Do you do like different experiences with them?
Absolutely, yeah. So one of the things I like trying out was networking. So one of the facilities we've got upstairs is we've got big networking racks with switches, routers, firewalls. Brilliant. And it was just playing with it.
How passionate you are about it.
And yeah, I know I'm never going to be a network engineer. I'm probably not going to be a network engineer. But it was just playing around with it, which was just fun. Maybe Stockholm syndrome, whatever you call it. But yeah, you get to experience things you've never done before. And yeah, I just went on networking. What was the question again?
Getting yourself lost
So
in it.
obsessed
Yeah,
with networking.
networking, yeah.
Lost yourself.
Sort of whether you mix with students from other sort of related courses.
Yes,
and work with
yeah,
them.
so yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, networking is cyber thing, and again, like the Wireshark is where you're looking at packets, and it does influence computer science. So, like, you might think the little padlock symbol in your browser, that's HTTPS. You might think, oh, that's not important. But when you do some of the cyber things, as a computer science student, I get to understand the reasoning behind it, so I know now to always set it up properly, so I've got the padlock. It's, again, the fundamental skills. I don't need to know sort of like how that works. It's just like talking to people, and it's that spark of inspiration. Like, I've got a guy sitting next to me when I'm working, and he's doing his fancy Wireshark with servers and, I don't know, something like that, looking at how vulnerability or something was exploited. I can't remember the phrasing. But yeah, it's just interesting to look at and just explore what he's doing and thinking, well, could this happen to me? What could I do to prevent it? So thinking from both sides, really.
Yeah, because I think one of the biggest selling points that I've seen, obviously not having been a student here, I'm coming in with sort of, I suppose, like fresh eyes on everything that's happening, is that there's such a big element of like cross-course collaboration and like learning different skills and actually working together to put events on. I know that's very apparent in like the School of like Creative and all of the creative subjects, but it's really, you can see it across the board, and you are clearly doing those things too, which
Absolutely,
is
yeah.
really
There's
nice.
a lot of collaboration, a lot of sharing.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I think it needs to be in this field. I mean, to be successful in a computing or tech-based role, you work with other people. So you need those foundations. So across many of our first year level 4 modules have been shared. So the computer science, cybersecurity, but also with some of our degree apprenticeship students. So you've got people working in industry as well, who are now building their kind of academic kind of part of their CV, I guess. So there's that real mix of students coming in. I think if you have those fundamental principles, cybersecurity will undoubtedly focus and specialise more on cybersecurity, but there's still different areas within that, whether you want to go into kind of ethical hacking or security management or security architecture or in computer science. If you actually want to take a role to go into network engineer, you could.
Okay, yeah.
You could be more software development route, DevOps, as you say. You may actually want to go more into kind of be a data scientist. So it's those kind of fundamental principles, and I think between computer science and cybersecurity, there are some collaborations there, and naturally so, fundamental principles. But it's just, in many cases, giving students that awareness of what the field's like so they can then specialise moving forward.
And I'm sure like meeting new people as well, like another way to mix with other students. But, touching on those sort of like what you can go on to do and people, coming at different stages and building their academics. Are there any, it would be really interesting to talk about sort of like the careers that you can have. Obviously you've talked about how there's such a diverse sort of range and things that you can go into from the skills that you've learned, but what are sort of the more traditional or common sort of careers that people have?
So I'd say certainly a go-to common route for computer science would be to become a software engineer. Software developer, and that of course can be in many different areas. It could be for a big company, you're working on big projects and you're part of a massive team just doing your little bit. Also as students, I know one student who I recently spoke to, just saying they emailed actually to ask how's things going on at the uni, which was nice.
Yeah, that's lovely.
But they're now in a company, and their software development team is a team of 3. Wow. There's a lead, them, and a trainee. So they're getting involved in every part of that.
Yeah,
that
you
process.
learn so much when you do that.
Yeah, and I guess for kind of security, common routes, the main route people are generally aware of is kind of like penetration testing kind of route. So that's where you essentially, a company may employ you or hire you on contract or whatever to essentially test and assess within their own kind of, with the specified remit, what their weaknesses or vulnerabilities are. That's quite popular in Cheltenham because there's so many consultancy-based companies as well, certainly in that field. Security management is another kind of route that people tend to want to skill into, especially more mature learners that may have experience in the field. They want to go to that kind of higher level, so they have that kind of overview.
Yeah.
Or you said something like network kind of engineering.
Yeah.
As well. So.
No, that's an interesting one. And then I was just going to ask you, George. Do you know what you've touched on it maybe slightly, but do you know what you want to do when you leave?
So with Lloyd's, I've got onto a grad scheme. So right at the end,
Amazing.
I was just waiting. They sent an email. They did send an email saying yes. So I've been fast tracked. So no interviews, no nothing, because I already had the experience. I know where I am. So grad scheme in September.
That's
really
amazing. Good.
So really looking forward to that. But it's going to be interesting. I think I'm going to miss the uni. I think maybe I have to come back.
After you're back, you do a guest lecture. Working at Lloyd's.
Yeah, I'll have to come back someday.
Yeah, definitely. Everyone's always welcome back. I think it's nice that we sort of have that sort of culture, and it's really nice to know that you know what you want to do, because not everyone's in that situation. And I think it's okay to be either way. But the fact that you've gone out, got a placement, and now you're set up, that's removes the pressure of the interviews, I think, which is nice, which is what a lot of graduates face.
Yeah.
So you're graduating in November this year?
I believe so, yeah. I think that's the date, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That'll be so good. Well, we'll be there.
Yeah.
We'll be cheering you on from behind the camera.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of it for this part. We're going to take a little break and then come back and talk about connections. We have an infamous question that we ask everybody, so we'll do that. We're back. We're going to talk about connections now. Obviously, we have said connections so many times that we can't possibly say it anymore. But do you want to... Ivana normally asks this question. It's her staple question. Do you want to ask it?
As Ivana today. So what is the
You're
most...
not blonde enough for
no,
that.
I know. Highlights.
Yeah.
So what's the... I suppose for both of you, what's the most meaningful connection you've made during your time at uni?
So many.
Yeah.
I think for me, if I just think back in terms of how I guess my career's kind of evolved, I'd say a really meaningful connection was actually one of the previous academic subject leads here in computing, because I think, coming initially doing business and working in the marketing team at the uni, in that role I did a lot of events, but that was for both business and computing. And I'd never really actually thought about moving to the kind of academic side of things, but I did work with academics. And it was only when a job role came up as a postgraduate assistant in cyber education, you'd be perfect for that. And I looked at the job description, I thought, I don't have that, don't have that, don't have that. I don't have any of these things.
Yeah.
But in terms of, and she actually said, in terms of the job description, it's made me think what we actually need. And I think this is the key thing in terms of what students think of is it's those skills, very fast learner, which is very willing to learn and try new things, willing to think, oh, that's an issue, can we get a solution and work with people, so actually be a perfect fit for that role. So it almost gave me that kind of perspective that this is a different kind of route I could go into. And moved across, postgraduate assistant, lecturer, senior lecturer, course leader, just through that initial, actually, you could do that.
Yeah, meeting that one person to then make a different decision. It could have
Just
all gone a different way.
Your view, yeah.
And look at you now.
You get to be on Connections Corner.
I do.
You've officially made it.
Yeah.
That's the pinnacle.
It's all downhill from here.
And how about you, George?
I think it's been back in level 4. Joe Cox from the office. Yeah. He's still a student at that time, level 6, and saw like an advert for being a course rep. So I thought, why not go for it? Just whatever. Might be a bit of fun. But it sort of inspired me and gave me inspiration, and it helped me build the soft skills so that now you get more connections with lecturers, so I can just waltz into the staff room, hey ACL of my course, what's popping? And I can have a moan or whatever. Or make a cup of tea. That's always useful.
I get the feeling that you love a cup of tea.
Oh yeah.
He does love a cup of tea.
Hourly.
Yeah, I don't like tea.
So weird.
Right, we're off.
So weird.
I'm a coffee person.
I mean, so am I.
Addicted to the caffeine.
I love a tea.
No.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just like that one connection just to go to so many other people. And I think another one was our research project for the skills. Because that's another opportunity to help with lecturers' research projects. And now for my dissertation, I'm doing a systematic literature review of financial education. So again, from a placement, I bring things in from the experience and bringing stuff in. So it's getting it from everywhere and just little bits help, and it's the inspiration more than anything.
Yeah, definitely. When's your dissertation due?
End of April.
End of April.
But that to me just sounds like it's under control. If you don't know when it's due, then you've already got there, right?
No.
We're not going to dog you.
He's ambitious. He's ambitious.
Okay.
Like chocolate, ambitious but rubbish.
You're not rubbish. No one says that. So, sort of finishing off, I just wondered whether both of you had a piece of advice for anyone that might be considering studying computing or cybersecurity, and then possibly studying here. So maybe 2 pieces of advice.
I guess I think you've got to follow your passion for whatever you do, because if you do that, you don't work a day in your life, do you? You need to have a chance to experience sort of like your field. If you're not quite sure what it is, you need to have that more broader experience first, and then you can narrow down, I really like this one subject. That's what you need, I think. So you need, I think the core is finding what you want. That can be quite a challenge sometimes. I found it a bit of a challenge. But once you've got that, it's so much easier to follow your passion. And you find if you're passionate about something, jobs will be much easier as well. And if you can get the support as well, which is like, yeah.
So for me, I think there's two things which are really, really important. One is what a lot of students think they need to be versus the truth, which is you don't need to be an expert in everything. You don't need to get the best grade on every possible module. Everyone has strong points, everyone has weak points. What you essentially need to think is just, actually, I'm just going to try and be willing to learn. And on your point in terms of follow the passion, I think a lot of people think, I don't know what my passion is. Yeah. And that's okay. And a lot of it is, well, if you don't know what it is, just get involved.
Yeah.
You don't know what opportunity it is and what may come your way just by trying something new. And I think that's certainly what a kind of degree here can do for you. There's such breadth and so many different things you can get involved in.
Yeah.
Even if you don't know where you want to go, over the course of 3 years, 4 years with placement, you should have a much better idea. And even if you don't then, what you will come out with is broad range of skills, ready to take the world on.
Yeah. You'll find your purpose eventually, I think.
Yeah. And I think that's the same for me. Right, so I did a business and economics degree.
Yeah.
But it's the skills that I kind of learn, and then you just take it forward, keep learning, keep going.
I think then you know that in your circumstance, and certainly in mine, is that you do a degree and then you might not necessarily do that, but it doesn't mean that you can't then go into a different career. Like, you always have your options open, and I think that's really important for anyone considering to coming to university, that it just gives you so many options. Like, you will learn so many things, and you may at the start think, I'm gonna get this degree and I'm gonna go here, and then by the end you'll probably be a completely different person, and but you've got the opportunities there.
Such a good point. Like, I had no idea what I wanted to do before I came to university. I had no idea at all. And then it was coming to university, actually studying. I knew I wanted to do something in media, but it was like, no idea what.
Yeah.
But it was coming to university, having like the time of my life, really helped that for me. So yeah, it's such a good point.
Being happy.
Yeah. And I think that's actually a good point. I think a lot of people prior to coming to university might feel quite a lot of pressure in terms of they have to go down a certain path. Now, for me, that path was, Jordan, you're really, really good at maths. And everyone was
not.
like,
we
know.
Really bad.
So all my teachers and everything when I was like at school, it was like, you should do maths. It was almost like, you must do maths. If you don't do maths, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And it was only when I came to an open day here, and I was like, because we don't offer maths.
No.
And we didn't then either.
No.
So I put my other choice, which has had, because my 4 other choices for uni was maths, here, business economics.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, I don't want to do maths.
Yeah.
That's not what I'm about. Unfortunately, it's just that little decision of just thinking, no, I want to do what I want to do.
Yeah.
And then you kind of learn a bit more about what you want. And fundamentally for me, I think that is helping people.
Yeah, exactly. And you've picked then a choice that makes you happy and that you've gone with, because I think, as we said at the start, you were going to go to a Russell group. I did go to a Russell group for like a week. I did not last, but I chose something that made me happy, and I knew that if I was happy, like, in my life, then I was much happier, and I did a lot better with the things that I was passionate about, because before I had experienced that at like school, where I wasn't maybe quite as happy, and the grades just didn't reflect that. It's that whole balance. It really does change your mindset, so it really is like finding your place and your purpose.
There's no point doing something if you're miserable all the time, is there?
No.
100%.
Definitely not. So I think should we just roll straight into student meals of the week?
Yeah.
Have you sent them to me? Okay. Where? Okay.
The best part of the podcast, some say.
Oranges and
I would say so.
That's what we need.
So we kind of have a little jingle for student meals
I
of
get
the
to
week.
do it.
Yeah, I
I
know.
get to do it.
You're gonna sing.
Yeah,
Yes.
we're all gonna sing.
Oh,
Are we?
okay.
Yeah, we'll teach you the.
The lyrics are really complicated as well.
Really, yeah. So all we do is we go like student meals of the week. That's how we did it in the first episode, and it's just carried
start.
on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
we were gonna make a jingle, but this was better, I think. So ready? And now we're gonna do student meals of the week. Ivana is going to be gutted she missed this. So I haven't seen these. We don't see them before we get
Okay.
lovely Jordan to pick them for me. So here we go. Oh, okay.
Ooh.
What have we got? I'm going to
Nice.
describe it for the people who are listening.
prawns?
That looks
I
like
think so.
battered prawns.
Yeah.
Yeah, prawns. Sort of like some sweet and sour
Yeah.
prawn. It looks
Sweet and
like
sour.
sweet and sour chicken, but it's not.
Some peppers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very plain rice.
So,
It's very dry.
yeah.
so
Very dry
Not
rice.
fluffy, is it? Like fluffy rice.
I love how that like the actual benchmark for rice is fluffiness. I like it.
Yeah.
I don't like the cutlery though.
Okay. Yeah. That's
I
true.
like just plain silverware.
Mm. I mean,
so,
I like,
they've
Stainless
got they've
steel
gone for the classic knife and spoon,
Fork
Yeah.
and spoon.
fork and spoon. Sorry,
yeah,
yes.
fork and
Fork and
spoon.
spoon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Oh
mean,
no, they don't go together.
I'm a big fan of prawns, but yeah, the rice looks
I
a bit.
don't do fish, so this is even more downhill for me. They lost points based on the cutlery.
Based on the cutlery.
Yeah. I'm gonna give it. I mean, it looks like I'm gonna give it a 6.
Yeah, I was thinking six. I'll give it a 7. Give it a 7.
Seven?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what our benchmarks are.
10.
Like,
Well, wait,
I know. I mean,
anything
maybe
else,
out of
mate.
10, but
Yeah.
if that's a 6, what's the?
I'm going 6 because I don't know what is left to
Okay.
come
True.
as
Okay.
well.
Go to 6.
Yeah, let's go with
6.
6 then. Yeah,
Would be
Okay.
a 7, but cutlery.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair.
fluffy rice.
Fluffy rice, yeah.
Did I go too far?
Was that a cheese board?
No, I didn't go too far. Yeah, so we've got
Love
some
that.
sort of like charcuterie
Charcuterie
balls.
board.
We got
Yeah.
some antipasti.
Yeah.
Big fan of
See,
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is gonna be
This
like
is a bit of me. That.
Yeah, that's a bit. Yeah, same.
and so we've got like bread, grapes,
Some like
What type
cheese.
of bread?
Have we got any olives there?
Yeah.
some olives, some
Is that olive oil?
no,
Yeah.
that's like balsamic vinegar and
Yeah,
olive
just
oil.
olive oil. Yeah,
Yeah.
and some like cured meat of some kind.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
like
like some
this.
salami.
I'm going like 9.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 9 as well.
Yeah, I'd yeah, like an antipasti
What
board.
about
go.
the presentation of this
Presentation is very good. I like the cheese board. They don't have a baguette for the bread, so.
one? Is that sliced up baguette though?
Is it?
You
Looks too
zoom
big.
in. No. Oh, there's brie.
Oh, brie.
I love brie.
The walnuts are an interesting
Yeah.
addition
Yeah, I
to
didn't,
this.
to be honest, I didn't even spot the walnuts until you
No.
said.
Yeah, but that might add a nice little crunch.
Mm,
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm gonna go 9.
9.
Yeah.
9.
Yeah.
Go wait for no baguette. That's the only reason.
I like it. I like your system here. Oh, okay, a stew.
Oh,
That's
same
a beef
spoon.
stew.
You ever
No.
think about cutlery? Though?
The wooden bowl as well. That's
got
again,
extra marks.
Okay.
Like that.
See, like I like the beef, but everything else in there.
I don't look-
I'm
I'm not sold.
No, I'm not.
I'm not sold.
not a stew fan.
Nah.
I'd say this was better than the prawns though.
Yeah, see, I disagree because I like prawns more. So,
Yeah, I'd rather have prawns than
Yeah.
rice and.
Okay.
I'd go for like a 5 on
Yeah, I
that.
was gonna say like 5.
Okay.
Fine.
Yeah,
I'm
I'll
gonna go
with
with
that.
7 because I think that's better than the prawns. So otherwise, my system isn't
Controversial.
well. My dad makes the best beef stew, and it's not quite giving that, but it's giving the same sort of feeling. So someone has literally captioned this their worst meal. That is pasta on some lettuce.
Yeah.
Meatballs?
Yeah,
hang on.
and some cheese.
Some cheese.
All right, so they got a bed of lettuce.
It's a
It's
pasta
bed of
cooked.
lettuce with some
Is
pasta.
the pasta cooked?
dry pasta on a.
That'll be a bit crunchy.
I'll be honest, in terms of how that looks, my favourite thing would be the grated cheddar.
Yeah.
You know, I don't mind. I actually don't mind that for like a quick
It's simple.
Yeah.
It does the job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I think I'd rather have that than the stew.
Yeah, I would as well.
It's low-key giving what's left in the fridge.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're thinking that lettuce is going a bit bad. I'll check that in at the bottom.
Yeah. Covered up by something else. Oh, but now I've just screwed my own ratings.
Yeah.
I'd have to give it. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go 7, aren't I? 6.5. It's not.
I'd say not enough information, no utensils to judge it on.
No, that's true.
Just eats it like a dog out of the bowl.
Yeah.
No knife and fork.
I would probably eat that though.
Yeah, I would. Yeah.
I'm laughing, but it is something that I'd probably come up with.
I'd give that a 6, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
6.
Maybe go 5.
Okay.
The pasta doesn't look.
It's not quite cooked enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm on a 6. It's above the stew.
It's above the stew. Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is our last one, I think.
We got some-
That is. So what we've got here is noodles.
It looks like
Yeah.
Chicken
super
and
noodles.
noodles. Yeah, it does look like super noodles.
Which I don't hate.
No. Super noodles, some chicken,
Looks like chicken.
Chicken. Yeah.
boiled eggs.
Load of spring onions.
Yeah.
Carrots. I feel like you've really got the good balance of all the
And
food
there's
groups here.
Kinder Bueno in the background as well.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's
Got a bit of dessert.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's a 10 for me.
Is that a lemonade bottle as well?
yeah.
Who gets 3 litres? I thought they only did 2.
No, you can get quite a lot of 3-litre bottles at like farm foods.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's true. It's true though. You never really see 3-litre bottles, do you? Like,
I can't even picture a 3-litre bottle. I think that's pretty good. That's gonna have to go. I'm gonna give it an 8 because it's not quite as. I just love a cheese board.
Yeah, I do. I think for me, 8.
I go 9.
I'll go 9 for
Because of Bueno as
presentation.
But
Yeah.
there's no cutlery.
True.
And there's no big
Can we
cat.
do 8.5?
Yeah,
Okay.
we can do it. We can do half marks. Which one do we think was the best? Probably. If we're going like actually prepared meals, it's got to be this one.
Yeah.
Agree,
But the cheese board
The
is
cheese board,
just good.
Yeah, I think cheese board and then
But you don't have to do a lot to put a cheese board
No.
together. So that's probably got more effort into
Yeah.
it. Amazing. It's so funny, the things that come up. when we ask
I
for
mean
these.
last week was good, wasn't it? Or the week before, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Last week was a lot of roast dinners. We
Yeah.
must have had a bit of a Christmas backlog. Because they were Christmas set up plates and tables as well. So, well, that's all we've had time for today. But thank you very much for joining us. And I
Thank
hope
you.
you enjoyed it. We normally really faff about the outro, but I'm not going to do that this week
Because Ivana's not here. So
yeah.
we have to do that.
Oh, she's so funny. But yeah, thank you so much for joining us. Obviously, if you're watching and you ever have any questions that you'd like to ask, then please leave them in the comments or message us via social media. Make sure that you follow us and subscribe to get more episodes of Connections Corner. Join the broadcast channel. She would kill me if I left that out. And then, yeah, thank you for watching. We normally also do a really weird wave thing that has started since the very start of this. We do this.
Is that a wave?
Yeah. It's what we do call a wave now.
Okay.
It's this new thing that's like trending. It's not.
It's not.
I
We
said,
just
I said
started
about
it.
keep learning, didn't I?
Exactly. We'll embrace
Yeah.
the new wave. But anyway, thank you for watching. See you next time.